the last events from ATO, the situation at the border, and also at some towns and villages. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. In ATO area, there is a trend of reduction of provocational shoot against positions of our military men. Also, we didn't notice effects of using heavy equipment. I mean, systemic shelling. At the same time, they accumulate and they regroup their forces. According to our intelligence, during the last 3 days, to Donetsk, several columns of trucks came and they brought ammunition. As a result of fights, and we lost one soldier from Azov battalion. We don't have wounded. Yes, last night at 10 p.m. near Sartana, Ukrainian broadcasters found noticed a drone that moved to Telkivka, Mariupol. According to intelligence in Donetsk, on some checkpoints of DNR, so-called DNR militants from Vostok are under drugs, and they're trying to get some medicine for their own use. We ask civilians don't go through checkpoints because the behavior of armed drug addicts is dangerous and unpredictable. We provide humanitarian aid to the east of Ukraine. Yesterday, military men from tank forces, they visited senior citizens and fully provided people in Krasnivka, Kasyanivka, Pravilna Kirilivka, not far from Mariupol. Our soldiers provided about 270 families first needs items, food, and they bought from no money. In the near future, military men plan to visit 60 poorly provided families and also with the help of volunteers to give gifts to kids in 3 kindergartens during the day through a checkpoint to Horivka. 2 trucks went with 3.5 tons of food for people in Donetsk region. Humanitarian aid was provided by Eastern Confession of Adventists and Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhzhia, Kharkiv region. There is construction of stationary transit cities or towns, module houses, and they collect already 91 houses like that, and they are meant for 3.5 thousand people. A group of House of Officers from Odessa, together with the creative groups of the city, organized New Year celebration for children of military men who are in ATO area. Also, Mykolaiv activists and volunteers of the charity foundation Territory of Life, they brought 2,000 gifts for children of our heroes. Ukraine takes care of those who are liberated, soldiers who are liberated from captivity. They receive psychological support, and on the training center in Novy Petrivci near Kiev, our soldiers are diagnosed by medical staff, and at the end of the day they'll deliver them home to their families. Russian authorities continue the pressure and the pressures against the Ukrainian political prisoners. Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine published the statement with a demand to release them, and they declined the arguments of Russia that they automatically get the citizenship of Russia because of its legally was made up, because that is a root violation of norms and principles of international humanitarian law and obligations, commitments of Russian Federation as the state occupant. December 25, 26, Russian courts prolonged the arrest of illegally kept Alexei Chernits and Alexander Kozhin and Gennady Afanasyev was sentenced to 7 years of imprisonment. That's all information. Your questions, please.
Yeah. Could you please tell what is the situation near Mariupol? There were some clashes with National Guards. Now the situation there is the following. After near Pervomaiska there was a clash from the small arms. The checkpoint was shelled where the National Guards of Ukraine one of our servicemen was gravely wounded. He was taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, the wound was very serious and the person died, and that is the fact that I mentioned, and that was some reconnaissance subversive group of the enemies. They were trying to get to the territory which is under the control of Ukrainian authorities, but Ukrainian National Guard stopped them, repelled their attempt. Now the situation is quiet there. Were there other people wounded? No, there were no wounded. Could you please confirm the information that the entry to Mariupol from eastern side is prohibited? I don't know why was the decision made, but that was the decision made by the headquarters of defense in Mariupol, and the eastern side is the most dangerous, and that is why the decision was made to block this way of entry. From there was this attack of the subversive group. Is it a temporary prohibition to enter, or for how long? I'm not ready to answer. Do you know that Russian agency informs that the ombudsman on human rights of the Donetsk Republic says that the next exchange of the prisoners will take place next Monday? Do you know about that? And also that there is some meeting of the Ukrainian law enforcement bodies. Yesterday there was information about that meeting, but as to the liberating our people from imprisonment, this will be taking place till we get everyone back home. The place and date haven't been set yet. No more questions. Thank you. The next briefing of Colonel Lysenko will take place tomorrow at 12:30. Our next briefing will take place at 1 o'clock.